G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? Oh, wow.
Will Smith smacks Chris Rock in the face. Different versions of that headline have been dominating the news cycle all over the world today. Everybody's talking about this. It is being dubbed the most shocking moment in Oscar history. People everywhere are talking about that unbelievable exchange. It happened after Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair, mocking her bald head. Smith then got up, slapped Chris Rock before returning to his seat, yelling from the crowd. The Academy has now launched a formal review. Joining us live to talk about the slap that was heard all around the world is Erica Eiffel, columnist at The Hill Times, Kathleen Newman, deputy director at Refinery 29, and Doin Nanda, an LA-based TV host and producer. Thank you all for joining us tonight. There really is so much to get into. I don't know about you guys, but my first reaction was, is this a bit? Is this real? Because at first Will Smith was laughing. I want to go around and get everybody's reactions. I want to ask you what you saw last night. Did you see a man assaulting another man? Did you see a man defending his wife? Male toxicity? Erica, what did you see last night?
Well, I think, honestly, you could, depending on who you talk to, you could attribute all of those things to last night. I think from the outside, it definitely looks like a sort of toxic masculinity, as one likes to say, that sort of forces men to defend a woman's honor. But when you look at it through a racial lens, that view gets a little distorted. And you get to the point where Black women are, probably the least protected people in society, or one of, and are not sort of protected, really. There's a reason that hashtag Protect Black Women exists. And so when you look at it through a racial lens, and especially somebody with a disability, the view becomes a little bit skewed, different.
And I think it is important to see it through a different lens. Kathleen, we'll come to you next. What did you see last night? How would you describe that exchange?
I think I agree with Erica in that you saw really all of the above. I think you saw something that was shocking and that at first I also thought was part of a bit. And then you saw real anger and real human emotions from Will Smith. And you did see also in his speech him reacting and saying that, I was trying to protect my family. And even though maybe that's not the best way he should have gone about it, he has now since apologized. That's breaking. He just released this statement apologizing to Chris Rock. Last night he apologized to the Academy, to his peers. He has now since apologized to Chris Rock, said he should have handled this differently. So I think that a lot of things are at play here. A lot of things can be true. One of them is that, yeah, he probably shouldn't have slapped someone on live television. But also, Chris Rock made an ableist joke against a Black woman and her hair. And we know that Black women are discriminated against for our hair. We have been for decades and centuries. And so I think that there are a lot of things at play and there is nuance in this conversation. And the reaction to Will Smith has actually been racist and unfortunate and frustrating. And that doesn't excuse his action, but I think that that also needs to be a part of this conversation.
Okay, you think the reaction has been racist. I want to talk about Will Smith's apology. He just posted this to Instagram. We'll try to bring some of it up for you on our screen here. Here's what he is saying on Instagram. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable, inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of my job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris, and I was out of line. I was wrong. I am embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. Doin, so we're finally hearing an apology from Will Smith. He did apologize last night. He apologized to his fellow nominees in the Academy, but he didn't apologize to Chris Rock. What do you make of this?
Absolutely. I mean, even watching his speech at the Oscars live, you could tell that he was himself shaken up by his actions. Clearly, based on this latest apology that he has issued, he's acknowledging the fact that he reacted in a moment of rage, that it's not indicative of who he is as a person. Even in his Oscar speech, he talked about being on this earth and feeling his purpose at the moment to spread love and protect his family. So I think it's very unfortunate that such a huge moment in his career has been overshadowed by this controversy. Was that the way that he should have reacted? Absolutely not. But to Erica and Kathleen's point, it's a very sensitive topic and something that I guess he was not expecting, not prepared for, and felt that that's what he needed to do in the moment. And it's just uncomfortable and sad to watch, on an international stage to have this happen. It's sad for every party involved. From what I'm reading, Chris Rock's joke was actually not approved because sometimes presenters and hosts go out and have a bit of ad lib and improvise, and that's not necessarily approved. So to everyone at the Oscars production team's knowledge, Chris Rock's joke was not supposed to be included, and it was not something that was approved. So I think there's a lot of different things to inquire about here. I think we're in 2022. There's absolutely no need to be making jokes at other people's expense, especially about their appearance or about a disability or something that I can't control. So I think a larger discussion needs to be had about what entails comedy now that we're kind of more aware. But just sad to see this unfold this way.
Okay, so let's talk about the joke then, Erica. Some people are saying, Will Smith needs to take it easy. It was just a joke. But this was a joke about a black woman and her hair in a very public setting. Is it possible to condemn the violence? I don't think anybody out there is saying what Will Smith did was right. But is it also possible to condemn black women being disrespected in public spaces in the same breath?
Well, yeah, I think you can acknowledge that black women, as Kathleen said, are discriminated against because of our hair. We're sent home because our hair doesn't look professional enough. When we don't have enough hair, it's a problem. A black woman's hair is political. And so I think that the joke was just bad taste, to be honest. Like, never punch down is the point. And so when you make jokes at a black woman's expense, especially a black woman who has a disability, I think it's in poor taste. And Chris Rock himself has a bit about how everybody, quote, deserves an ass whooping, unquote. So I really wonder how he's taking this as art imitates life, or life imitates art.
He was caught off guard last night, that's for sure. Kathleen, there was also a lot of good that happened last night. Not all of us are talking about this, right? The first deaf man picking up an Oscar, an acting Oscar, that's a big deal. For the first time, the Oscars were put on by an all-black producing team. 2 black women hosted. Should the Will Smith, Chris Rock moment even define what happened last night, define the 2022 Oscars?
I mean, I don't see how it doesn't. It was the most shocking thing that has ever happened at the Oscars, at least in my lifetime. So I think that you can, again, a lot of things are true at the same time. I think that you can separate the fact that this was an all-black producing team and that Will Smith did this really shocking thing that, of course, we're going to be talking about for days, for months, for years. And have it not take away as well from someone like Questlove winning for his documentary Summer of Soul, which was an incredible moment. And that happened right after the Chris Rock thing. And so it really got overshadowed. And so I think that there's no way that this is not the story that comes away from last night. But I think you're right in that there are a lot of other stories that also deserve attention, like Coda's win, like Troy Kotzer's win, like Questlove's.
Okay, Doolin, the LAPD confirming today that Chris Rock, he didn't file a police report. He will not be pressing charges. We are hearing from the Academy, though, saying that it condemns the actions of Will Smith and it will launch a formal review now. Tell us more about this.
I mean, it's just interesting to see how this is going to play out, because at the end of the day, whether or not you disagree or agree with Will Smith's actions and his intent, to be able to get up on stage and assault somebody on international television is something that should not be taken lightly. And so I think regardless of where you stand, having some sort of action taken, disciplinary action taken, I think is inevitable. People have come out and said that there may be some sort of punishment in terms of having his membership to the Academy revoked. Whoopi Goldberg released a statement saying that she does not believe that his Oscar is going to be taken away. She is on the board of governors for the Academy, and especially since Chris Rock has not pressed any charges, they don't think that it's going to, actually affect Will Smith's Oscar, and it shouldn't. I mean, he had an incredible performance in King Richard, and he absolutely deserved that award. But in terms of seeing disciplinary action taken to prevent people from feeling like they have the ability to just walk up on stage and take physical action, I mean, he could have grabbed his mic or could have made a statement about, comedians needing to change the way they make jokes at somebody else's expense. However, I think it's the assault aspect of this that's going to affect him very negatively.
For sure. Erica, we've got about 20 seconds left here, but I have to ask you, Will Smith, should he be stripped of his Oscar? Some people are calling for that. Is that ridiculous? What kind of repercussions should he face?
Does Harvey Weinstein... I think they stripped Harvey Weinstein's Oscar, actually. But as I recall, Casey Affleck had sexual assault charges against him when he got his Oscar. So nobody talked about stripping him of his. Or maybe they did. I don't know. But I think that's beyond the pale, to be honest.
Okay.
And I would wonder why those rules are different for him instead of somebody like Casey Affleck.
All good questions and questions worth being asked. So we'll leave it there. Erica Eiffel, Kathleen Newman, and Dooin Nanda, thank you all for your time and your perspective.